We're here with Eastern Illinois head coach Chris Wilkerson. And, Coach, it's good to see you again. Even when you slid into this interview, I noticed some mid July energy coming from you.
It's that time of year, isn't it, brother?
Yeah, it is.
Certainly miss seeing you in person, but we are really, really, really excited about this fall. And it's that time of year. The guys have been working their tails off, and you've added a ton of new players and even coaches, and just excited about getting going as we get ready for preseason here. The guys have got the rest of this week to finish their summer camp. And then they've got 1 week off, and then we kind of get in the submarine, if you will, starting on July 27th. So, really excited.
All right, let's go with the student athletes. What's the summer been like for them? Because a lot of folks don't realize they generally get back on campus in June.
Oh yeah. Hey, it's about development. Our guys, during recruiting, it's about attracting guys and then retaining them and then certainly developing them. And the summer is a massive part of that. Our players were here for the veterans reported the first of June-ish. And they trained for about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then they had a week off for the 4th of July. The rookies came in the week after and trained for about 3 weeks and then had a week off for the 4th of July. And then they come back and they've got 2 more weeks of solid training and then 1 more week off. So they put in good, depending on the age of them, 6 or 7 weeks during the summer. And there's an awful lot of development that happens. We've gotten bigger, faster, and stronger across the board. And then certainly they've had a chance to do a ton of player-led workouts on the field with 7-on-7s and offensive and defensive line crossover stuff. So we've gotten a lot better and just can't wait to get out there and start to actually do some hands-on coaching.
Guessing from your perspective, it's very important to mesh the transfers, and you mentioned some new coaches as well into that mix. So let's talk first about kind of what your philosophy and team building and getting that point through the summer, because summer's a grind. So how do you endure that, so to speak? And maybe there's a better word for it. Approach that.
Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you what, the summer also for the coaches, you got to get just a little bit of time off, and you also have camps that you got to cover that you're still continuing to recruit. So the biggest thing is the development and the culture and the chemistry part of it is very, very, very much player driven. And it starts with leadership. Our captains have been phenomenal. Cooper Willman has been one of those guys. Jesse Garza has been one of those guys. Nick DeSanto has been one of those guys. And Tien Fridge has been one of those guys. They've been just phenomenal. And they've done a ton of different stuff. They certainly spend a lot of time together in the building, whether that be in the weight room, in the locker room, or the athletic training room, or on the field. But they've also done a ton of stuff in the community, whether it be community service projects. They've done different cookouts. They've done some other things around town and on campus. But they've really done a great job with it. And in a day and age where absolutely you have to have talent to compete for championships, that's everybody understands that. But chemistry and culture do matter. And they have built a very rock solid brotherhood, and that's probably one of the most exciting parts of this fall for me is having watched them continue to develop and continue to add players, which we did in December, and then we did again in June, and see the buy-in. Nobody cares where anybody's been and what they've done so far. We're all about working together and being present and worried about winning the day.
So let's talk about this new coaching staff additions you made.
Yeah, super excited again. Every year here at this level and nationally, there's an awful lot of turnover right now, right? It's unprecedented times in intercollegiate athletics and football specifically. But the numbers say over the last 3 years that we've been here that you're going to turn over 40 to 50 players a year. So we average about 45 players a year of new guys with graduates and certainly guys that have an opportunity to move on in the portal. But the same thing with our coaching staff. I will lose after the 23 season. I lost my OC, my DC, my special teams coordinator, and my strength and conditioning coach. And so, it's really important to have people that know each other, that understand the system. And we're fortunate to be able to retain all those, minus our defensive coordinator this year. And so, I am really excited about Andrew Strobel. He's a guy that is a more experienced, seasoned football coach. Last season, Colin did a phenomenal job for us, but again, it was just there were some things that happened that were out of his control, and certainly some things that I could have done better to help him. But Strobes has been great. The players have been bought in. We've added certainly a number of talented players on that side of the football, but we have gotten an awful lot better during the spring and summer on defense, and that's the expectation. Certainly, that's the standard. So I'm really excited about that.
All right, so let's start on that side of the ball before we get to this schedule, which no doubt you're excited about, and we'll get some elaboration on that earlier. Drake Van Height, a young man that led the team.
Van Hefty.
Van Hefty, excuse me, led the team in TFLs, tackles for losses last season. He's got to be someone you're pointing to on the defensive side.
He is. Drake's a hard hat and lunch pail guy. I mean, he likes to hunt and fish, and when he gets a chance to get away from here, he's going to go somewhere, and he's going to get in a boat or he's going to get on a four wheeler, and does a phenomenal job for us. Just plays at a high level. Is very versatile too. You know, he can play on the edge for us, especially in rundowns, and then in passing situations, he can go inside, and he's really slippery. Does a really good job attacking the quarterback. So, I'm very excited about Drake.
Uh, Phoenix Porter, Tieran Fridge, Mason Miller. I want to hit on all those. Miller being the punter in that, but kind of those two young men I just mentioned to start with, Porter and Fridge, certainly got to be counted on.
Yeah, so Phoenix has played a lot of football for us. He's done an awful lot of things on special teams and had great opportunities on defense. At times he's been able to sustain his health, but is very active, is very passionate about playing football, and certainly we're really excited about his continued growth. We've added a ton of guys in that room, and so there is going to be great competition, and we're excited about what we've seen this summer. TN is a guy that has been awesome, has just continued to develop, is steady. Again, with the change in the scheme, probably fits his personality a little more as a rover, a guy that can still defend the pass and be removed, but is big enough and physical enough to be the seventh hat in the box at times if we want him to be. And certainly Mason, I know you mentioned earlier, is a guy that we feel like, again, he came in December, and he's got every bit a strong, if not stronger leg than our punter that we had last year. And so really excited about him. He's very much consistent and has continued to improve all spring and summer.
Got to mention the punter because the wind always blows at O'Brien Field. So we want to make sure we mention that.
Yeah, it's important. Again, field position is a massive part of it. Hey, hopefully we're not having to call on him as much as we did last year. But if needed, I know he's going to be ready to seesaw field position for us.
Now, you mentioned it slightly, scheme change on defense. Elaborate on that a bit.
Yeah. So again, Strodes has been a guy that's had a chance to coordinate at different levels, and just a very much a seasoned football coach. And I think part of the art of coaching is being able to adjust your scheme to fit the players that you have in your program from year to year. And today, it's very important that you have some teachability, that it's easy to digest, and that the guys don't have paralysis through analysis, because there is so much turnover with your roster. And I think that's the one big thing he's been phenomenal with, is we've really, really, really kind of shrunk their boxes, and you can become an expert at playing on the three technique side, or you can become an expert at playing in the B gap side. And there's enough multiplicity in there that we'll still be able to give people some different looks. But it's been phenomenal. He's been great with the players. He's been great with the other coaches on his side of the football, and certainly great with our entire staff.
Okay, so we're going to switch sides now. Cooper Willman is getting a lot of publicity, and it's well deserved. Elaborate a little bit about where he fits into your plan. I mean, a true wide receiver or a tight end, just get him the ball kind of guy.
Yeah, no. Hey, Cooper's going to get a lot of touches, and you got to find ways to get him touches. He can do just about anything. Played quarterback in high school, was a shortstop on the baseball team, point guard on the basketball team. Came here, worked his tail off. Mr. EIU met his wife here. He's going to have 3 degrees between the two of them, I think, as they got married this summer. Again, he can hold for us on extra points and do different things. He can return punts. He did that for us. And is phenomenal. He's just shifty. Obviously, a very, very talented wide receiver. We can hand him the football in the backfield, and he's thrown some forward passes for us before. So he's a guy that can do an awful lot, and we've just got to continue to be creative and find ways to get him the football. He needs touches, and has done a really good job developing the other people around him.
And you mentioned the big guy, Nick DeSanto, earlier, anchoring your offensive line.
Yeah, Nick's phenomenal. Continued to develop, gotten bigger and stronger, came in and started as a first year for us, was on some freshman All-American teams. Again, a guy that has stayed and continued to improve, battled through some injuries last year, but has really become a great leader for us, especially in that room, and has just continued to get better and better and better. And I'm really excited about the depth of the collective group on the offensive front.
And off camera, you were really excited about this schedule. Starts with Dayton, Indiana State, Illinois State. You get those rivalries right out of the way early, and a big home schedule for you.
Yeah, having a chance to open at home is the first time in a while here at Eastern, and we are very excited about that. Always excited about the opportunity to play anywhere, but certainly at O'Brien Stadium. And then, like you mentioned, 6 home games. That's the first time in an awful long time that Eastern Illinois has had 6 home football games. Typically, in a 12-game year, we're going to play 7 on the road, and it's a very, very, very exciting. We're going to be able to basically play in the state or in Terre Haute for about the first 6 weeks of the season, and that is an awful good thing for us, and we're very excited about that.
All right, we're out of time, but I want to ask you one final question. What's got to happen this season in year three for you to make the difference and get this team up and going like you have steadily climbed over the previous two or three?
Yeah, we've got to go back to turnover margin, and hey, year two. In 23, we made the big jump. We led the nation in turnover margin. We took care of the football on offense, so we were able to sustain drives and score. And we took the football away at a high level on defense. We still gave up a few yards, and it was a little misleading that way. But last year, I'll tell you what, we just turned it over too much and didn't take it away enough. And so when you're playing on long fields on offense and short fields on defense, that's a recipe for disaster. And it's not real complicated. We know exactly what we need to do. We can't have Eastern Illinois beat Eastern Illinois. We've just got to play better and execute the plan.
Chris, great visiting with you again. Best of luck to you, and just a few days away.
Yeah, great catching up. Go Panthers.